Oh, I think we're here. Hello, Mr. Clinton. How are you?
Hey, how you
Hey,
doing?
how's our little birdie doing?
I'll show you, right? Yeah.
Oh, so he's doing better.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Uh,
you posted he went through something. What happened?
um, so when it's sunny, I put a tea towel over his covering while I'm carrying him around.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought it inside and I didn't even think, but he got caught up in the tea towel
Mm.
and I just threw the tea towel off and he was hooked up in it. Yeah.
Oh,
And sort of went splat on the concrete floor.
yikes.
And
Oh,
yeah, he was not in a good way.
oh
And
man.
just to prove that he wasn't in a good way, he just shit on my leg.
Oh, well, sometimes that's good luck.
Yeah, yeah. I'll
You know.
I'll keep believing that.
Yeah, yeah. So we have an interesting thing we're going to talk about today, and I thought, I've been feeling it for a minute. Um, oh, I think this is Omar, I believe. Let's see if Omar's here. Hello, Mr. Omar. Can you hear us? Omar? Well, I'm not sure who that is. Is that you, Omar? We're going to discuss men and emotions and feelings. Um, I was sent something really interesting over the weekend, and it's a good friend of mine out of Michigan, and he said it's a thing, isn't it? And I went, what? He goes, it's a thing. Men don't talk to men the same way women talk to women. And I went, oh yeah, that's a thing. And he went, but you're different. And I said, I don't know about different. He goes, well, you don't have a problem sharing how you feel. I said, well, not after teaching myself, because it's not like I learned it anywhere. And he said, hmm. He says, would you be interested in coming up and starting a men's group? And I said, sure, not a problem. I said, what's the men's group about? He says, well, it's about time men start learning how to feel, how to express their feelings, how to express their emotions. But, and he goes, well, the same thing. I said, no, they're not. Women can tell you emotions and feelings aren't the same thing. They're not. Emotions are your mind's reaction to what you're feeling. Feelings are just feelings. They don't have shit to do with your emotions. And he's, never thought of it that way. I said, yeah, think about it. When you go and you hug a person you love, there's a feeling between you. Now, that feeling can spark something in the mind to make you say something. I love you. Oh, you feel good. Oh, this is amazing, right? But the feeling itself is already speaking a certain communication. I said, men aren't taught that. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to talk, especially you two. I don't know what it was. I dreamed last night. I was like, men's soul chat. And I know the two right ones will be here because we're talking about backgrounds of how you were raised, but we're talking about this connection that finds you and then how you respond based on what's been found in you. So I'm going to kind of just pose this question and then we can talk about it. When it comes to your feelings, who in your life has came and sat with you and said, I want to connect to how you feel?
For me growing up, no one.
Okay, one at a time. Go ahead, Clinton.
For me growing up, no one.
Okay, Omar. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Clinton. Go ahead,
no. Carry on.
Omar.
Nobody.
Come back.
Me nobody too. It's like, nah, nobody sat down and said that to me.
Okay. Now, you come in and you see this person you have a connection to, and all those feelings rise up with no history of anybody ever connecting to them, except this one person in front of you. What do you want to do with your feelings?
Express them.
How about you, Clinton?
Yeah, you just wanted to let it all out.
Yeah, do you feel your head?
Yeah.
said-
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing was, it's like the internal part of me wants to go, let it all out. But this part of me is going, yeah, like, fuck.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
Because what's happened is when we were little, our mothers, they teach us something different, right? The woman that we came from, what were you taught about your feelings
I don't know
from?
how to respond to that.
Uh-oh.
See, you've
Yeah.
even got Siri confused.
No, Siri, actually, if you watch this back, Siri was right on time.
Okay. Yep.
Because we're talking about men and feelings. And of course, that particular person had a feminine voice that just said, I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, when it comes to a mother, she can never see any wrong in her little boy. So if we hold our feelings in, does she try to pry them out of us?
No.
And in this connection, your twin wants the exact opposite, don't they?
Yeah.
And how easy are you going to make that, considering they're supposed to love you because they're connected to you, and you never had a problem up until this point. Now, what's interesting is we'll go with somebody who doesn't do that before we'll go with somebody who wants to be a part of our feelings. Why? Why do we do that? Why do we want to be with somebody who won't be connected to us and love us versus somebody who's not connected to us but can love us? Is it love?
No. It's the
Go ahead.
idea of it.
Go on. Yeah, go on, Clinton. Come on. Make it happen, baby. Make it happen. No, because I know Omar's going to kick right in behind you. I saw this in a dream. I'm already there. So let's go with it. Right?
So yeah, it's the idea of it. And then we become comfortable and settled with that idea. And then when the connection comes along, it just throws everything out of perspective. You know, you fall in love with this person and it's like, yep, I'm in love with them. And the way we get taught to love someone just doesn't work with this person, because they need us to go deeper into ourselves. But because we have that fear of, you know, that if I say this, then I'm not masculine enough. I'm not man enough. I'm weak if I do this. So we hold everything back. And because we're doing that, they look at us and go, okay, I'm off. And that's what happens.
What I have one question for you before we get Omar to answer this.
Yes.
Who taught you how to show up when you're in love?
No one.
Did you realize that a woman has the same answer that you just had? Or a man? They both have this. We have this space where we don't teach and we don't really pay attention to when we fall in love with someone. What are you taught?
The first things that we are taught is that we have to provide a safe environment. We have to be the provider. Yeah, it's mainly those two things that we get taught, but we don't actually get taught to love. Our modern idea of love is safety, financially secure, provide a house and a car. But when it comes to love, there's nothing there. We have this materialistic value of what love is. And it's just, when this connection comes along, it's sort of like, you know, puts a grenade under it and just blows it to smithereens. And then you're sort of left scratching your head. Because you're standing there going, what the fuck did I do wrong? And it's not the fact that we did anything wrong. It's just that we're never shown.
Amen. Omar?
Oh, shoot. Oh man, since the beginning of this year, like the end of the last year, December, start of December 19th, about connections, and it's like a lot of connections is coming in because I'm open to a lot of things now that I wasn't open to before. I'm speaking my truth, letting things out. When it comes to your twin, my twin, like she exploded like Glenn said, whirlwind of a big boom, like what the hell is this? However, and I say however, I wasn't connected to myself enough to know what it was, what was happening. I just knew these feelings was upon me, and I never had them feelings before. Okay, so it's like a lot of people is connected to me because I'm connected to myself in a lot of ways that a lot of things are still baffling me right now, like from what's happening to me, what's going on with how things are moving in my life with the connection, with me being connected to myself. And that's the whole thing, being connected to myself, that I'm able to feel the connections with others and others is able to feel it with me. It's crazy. My story is crazy. I got a whole nother story about another connection that just popped in. That's not my twin. And it's yeah, you rolling your eyes. Yeah, it's
No,
like
not necessarily rolling my
no,
eyes.
I'm not saying roll the eye because you thinking like
Well,
that's what you.
I
because-
felt something you said.
What did you feel? Because I feel it too.
You're feeling a connection to someone, but it's not a direct connection.
To my twin.
Well, wait a minute. You can point at your twin all day long, but when are you going to accept a connection directly to you?
No, that's my whole thing. It is connecting to me. The
Well,
connection. And,
I have a question then. Isn't a twin flame a direct connection to you?
yes.
So why are you pointing outside or something inside or something
You're right.
inside is saying, hey, I'm right here, right? Now, the feelings that you're carrying, Omar, the feelings that you're carrying, who's allowed to connect to them? And where would you have learned that?
Learned that through my journey. Connections, the connection part, I've learned that listening to you and understanding how I had to help to unlearn and to learn the reasons why I wasn't connected. I wasn't taught to be connected. I wasn't taught to express how I felt. I wasn't taught really by nobody. It's a learning experience of dealing with my feelings, feeling my feelings, expressing my feelings, and sitting in my feelings. Yeah, because feelings and emotions are different. It is different because it's real different. And I'm just able to feel, and I'm feeling, and that's where the connections is coming from.
What is an empath to you, Omar?
What's an empath?
Yeah, what is an empath to you?
To me?
Yeah.
I never really thought about that. But and I really haven't really thought about it. However, to what I feel with an empath or what they talk about is an empath is somebody that is able to feel other people's energy, other people's emotions, other people's, in some cases, thought patterns. And able to understand without giving out, able to empathize without sympathy, like without giving your energy to the person, but able to understand where they're coming from without.
Yeah. About that, I have a question, Omar.
Uh-huh.
Do you want people to understand you, or do you want them to connect to you? Because you cannot have both.
I want connection.
Then why are you looking for understanding?
I'm not looking for understanding. Okay, listen. Okay. I do, because that's the Virgo in me, and I try not to. I try to leave that part alone, because just like I said, this last beginning of the end of last month to the whole beginning of this month, the universe have opened up to me a whole lot of things that I was kind of shaky about. You understand? About connections and everything, because I do question everything. I question everything. I really do. And the universe said, stop questioning, just let be. Let everything be.
Yep.
It will come to you when it's time for it to come. And that's what I have been doing. So the Virgo of mind and all that, yeah, still be wanting, the answers. However, I'm not really looking for them. I'm just being. I'm letting it come. I'm feeling the connections that's coming into me. I'm able to deal with what's coming into me. So it's like, it's one side like the devil and the angel, one side like, yo, the brain's like thinking part is like, oh, why is this? You need to find this out. And the other part, spirit is like, sit back and relax, just be. And that's how I am right now. So yes, it's a conflict. It's always a conflict of the mind and the spirit dealing with everything. And if you just be, you just is. That's how I look. That's how I'm seeing. That's what I'm realizing now. Like I said, I was on the fence. Like a lot of things, I see it, and I still had a little doubts. But the last doubts is just going out the window, because it's like this being open and being connected is just bringing a whole lot of things my way that at one point I was like, oh my God, is it ever going to happen?
The biggest question you probably are going to find at some point is, why are you giving energy to doubt?
Because that's what I was taught, to keep it official. So just like if you go with, why would I give energy to doubt? Because it's also a fighting battle, because you got to unlearn a lot of things that you learned. So it's like doubt is always going to creep in, because you always at one point doubted everything that you dealt with. So
can you do me a favor, Omar?
Yes, sir.
Tell us one time you've actually won a fight against your doubt.
One time I won a fight against my doubt?
Yes.
I won my fight against doubt a whole lot of times, especially when I was doubting myself.
Tell us about one.
One of them.
Yep. That you actually won, and
I won.
Right. You were not right about what you were doubting. Right.
Okay, my son's mother.
Okay.
I doubted I could ever get with her. And
Wait, time.
no, you
time,
no, you wanted the
time,
one time I was down.
wait,
I'm gonna give you the
no, I'm gonna be human here and call out something. You had a child with this woman, and you
Yes.
doubted connection with her
doubt.
for the rest of your life. You have that connection as soon as you have the child, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you doubted that after you had
Okay,
the child?
because this is what it was. I doubted it because I tried to. This is. I'm gonna give you the short version.
Okay.
I tried to talk to her. She said it'd be a cold day in hell before I ever got with her. I like before I talked to her first. She said that we talked. And she's like, "Hey, it'd be a cold day, blah 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 blah." So I went into my thing and just. I'm saying I'm gonna get that, but I doubted it first. But when she said it was gonna be a cold day in hell. When she said that,
did she realize that you lived in cold days in hell?
Right. As a matter of fact, the first time that we connected, I said, it must be freezing in hell. And she said, what you talking about? I said, you remember you told me it'd be a cold day in hell before I ever get this? I said, damn, the devil's freezing right now. And that's the first time that I doubted. But however, what she said to me just pushed my energy to, okay, we're gonna see about this one.
Well,
Then,
I guess, but it's still not pointing to where your actual doubt had anything to do with your feelings, not your confidence. Because your feelings always tell the truth. There should be never a doubt that your feelings can be doubted because they're real. What we actually have as men, as women, when we feel something, we're not taught to communicate that feeling. So 9 times out of 10, we're doubting that the other person's feeling it, as if we're not somehow an animal that can sense all of the senses, the see, hear, smell, touch, taste. It's almost like when this connection shows up in your life as a man, you didn't realize you had all those senses because you've been in your head the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And the doubt that's been coming to you has made you doubt a lot of things. What's really interesting about this is we are talking masculine energy, but women seem to be infected with it more than men.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were taught not to need a man, so they became one. We're not paying attention to that part. That's going to be a whole other topic for a different.
Oh my God!
But I will say this: what you're saying is the doubt is keeping you locked in your thinking, and you can't win against that until you realize, wait, whatever this energy is, my mind has labeled the feeling doubt. I'm going to go with the feeling, not the thought. That's how you win, right?
The real question is, what was it that he was doubting? Because it wasn't the feeling that he was doubting, it was himself.
Right. Well, it was the self that the mind created that said that he couldn't, but he was like, no, I could feel something in her and she could feel it in me, and I'm going to go with that. It's different.
The doubt was his ability to achieve what he wanted in the first place, not the connection or even the deservingness of that connection.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin is back. He had a dark night of the soul and decided to take a vacation from us.
Yes. Thank you.
Hey, we love you. Thank you for coming back.
I have missed you guys. It has been a long minute. I appreciate that very much. I'm glad to be back.
And may I tell you for the future, anytime you have pain, come back here, because this is what this soul chat is about. Indeed. The soul chat is about men coming together in pain and hurt and connecting so we can have connection. And the thing is, when you're in a dark night of the soul, it's supposed to be your rebirth period, not your pain period where you just go underneath your pain and sit there. You need to let other people connect to your pain so that way you're not there so long.
Thankfully, I have a my twin here who helps with that a lot. But based on what little I've heard so far, it seems like all of us have had a very similar conclusion to last year, where it sounds like a lot of us went through a lot of transitions, but not only that, we kept getting curveballs and kind of ducking this way and ducking that way and every which way that we could. As the year kind of culminated, it seemed like everything was kind of building to some sort of huge eruption. And then this year, it seems like everything that is not for us, everything that is not where we're going, can no longer remain. That seems to be kind of the message of this year so far for me.
Yeah, this year for me is because 2 became 3. And what I mean by that is that because 2 can be connected, a third or your rebirth can happen. So 2023 shouldn't be about 2022.
No.
But 2023 should be about how you rebirth through the things you've been through rather than how you don't. I mean, I have to admit, 2 years ago, I sat in pain for 2 years and was sitting there going, okay, she's still here, right? And I got to the end of 2021 and went, she's still here. 2022 was about us coming back together as 2. And we've birthed something in our connection now that is not just filled with pain, but there's so much love oozing out of this pain. I don't know what to do with it. And I looked at her and I go, what is this? She goes, this is where we create. And I was like, create what? She goes, I'm not going to finish it. And I went, you're not going to, she goes, if I add something to it, it's not us. It would be just me.
Right.
Oh. So what you're seeing is you're seeing a lot of energies all coming together to create. Thing is, are we creating with love or without it?
Or can you ever truly create without love in the first place?
Yes.
I don't believe so.
I'm sorry. I've been through ice hell.
So
And I can tell you this. I could not create a liver for her to work.
that's very true.
So it's literally me and her in that space. Somebody had to come in to create what we were telling ourselves was going to take a miracle. So I would say if we just leave it at the creation is miracle, or creation is energy, or wish, or whatever else we'd want to put in that space, it feels better, you know, because I know that if I tell myself something from my mind, I'll find myself stuck again. And I'm just tired of being stuck. You ever felt like that?
I absolutely have. And I think, much like you've put it, only recently I've finally started to get out of my own fucking way.
Did you run yourself over a couple times first?
Yeah, and then I backed up and I heard beep, beep.
No. I jumped out of the vehicle while I was still running and thought I could get ahead of it and try to stop it that way, and it didn't work.
And then it rolled back downhill on top of you?
Something like that. It actually just caught me up underneath, and it was like I could reach up through and grab the gear shift, and I kept hitting the wrong thing. But
so, a very unpopular opinion that I take with some circles of friends of mine about love and creation and manifestation and connection, all things are achieved in love, whether we see it that way or not. And I think even what we would see as unhealthy or as even detrimental or damaging, such, personality traits such as narcissism and even sociopaths and things like that, things that we view as harmful to people among a society, those people are doing those things that in their mind that they love, their desires, they're fulfilling. Even a narcissist, we'll take that as a singular example, right? A narcissist, their entire purpose in life is to fulfill the self, to fulfill whatever their whims are, whatever their own personal wishes are, whatever at that given moment, whatever it is that they desire. So even in fulfilling that unhealthy need that can be damaging and hurtful to others, it's still in love of the self that they're trying to fulfill whatever it is that they're interested in or moving toward at that given moment. And so I challenge people around me to think of even the unhealthy things that are damaging. It's a form of love, but not only it's to the self and not of the self is the problem. But all things are accomplished in love, even greed. Greed is chasing something that you love, a love of money, although it's self-serving and it's not really helpful to anyone else. It's still accomplished in some type of love to the self, but not of the self. And this is kind of something I've really been thinking about a lot lately that I don't think we give enough credence to, because all things can be only accomplished in love. It's just the type of love that you're using to create and accomplish those goals in any given time. What do you think about that?
I feel it. I don't know that I'm necessarily thinking about it. May I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
What attracts a narcissist?
Vulnerability.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What makes you believe that?
Because typically the people who are most used by a narcissist are those who are most able and willing, I guess, or those most vulnerable, I guess.
So would you say that this belief gave you an identity?
Fair point.
Because I'm paying attention to the identity, and it's going to attract just that if you don't be careful.
Oh, I'm not interested in attracting that.
I'm pointing out the obvious.
Fair point.
Obvious is, as long as you label shit, how are you awake?
Well, a label's just the lens for the mind to understand something.
Whole thing.
You believe your mind is in control of anything you feel?
No.
Then maybe you should slow down. Because I can tell you right now, in connection, the more you label, the worse shit gets.
I can't agree to that.
Then why do you even bring up narcissism?
I think my thoughts and perceptions on a lot of things have been getting to change, simply put.
Well, simply put, your heart seems to be closed.
Would say,
tell us what's going on.
oh man, do you have that much time?
Yes, we
No,
do.
no, we have that much connection. We don't need the fucking
Just give
time.
us a struggle. Yeah,
Uh,
because that's a label too.
but time is moved. What's going on?
Man, I have found that I mean, all of you are probably, I think, a bit older than myself, so I think
I'm not.
a lot of you have. You would, Glenn. You would.
I love you.
So as we get older, the dynamics in family and the relationships that we have with our family and those around us, it tends to change. The people around us tend to become fewer and fewer. The people that we feel as if are on the same path or trajectory that we are seems to become fewer and fewer. And especially, trying to do the work, trying to heal the wounds, I find, I can speak for myself. I guess I should say that I don't resonate with a lot of the same people that I used to anymore. And as a natural product of that, the relationship, the connection to those people doesn't seem to stay. I mean, the staying power of it doesn't seem to exist anymore. And the grievance of those relationships that we, to even parental figures, the grievance of that process has been pretty intense, to say the least, because the path that I'm on isn't necessarily the one they're on, and I respect and love that they're living their life doing them, but that doesn't mean that we necessarily align.
I have a question. You just told on yourself without really realizing you did. How do you love yourself around your parents again?
Well, that has been a big change the last several months.
How do you love yourself if your parents are sitting in the room right now? How do you love yourself? Now you're doing this in connection. It's going to show up in connection more times than not. Are you sure you want to do that? Because what you're trying to say is the people I'm connected to, I can't love myself around. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's more so that being around their orbit and the energy that they kind of exude.
Do you know what's interesting? Do you know what's interesting about this moment? You came from one of their bodies by the input of both. And
Right.
what you're saying is that that's not connection to you anymore.
No, because where I came from will never change, but that I identify with the path and the direction that they're headed in their life and the choices they make is an entire another matter, I think.
Hey, Kevin, right now you got 3 men connected to your pain. It's okay, brother. Okay? But I'm going to tell you something. If you can't love yourself around them, how can you love yourself at all?
Well, I think part of that's learning to establish boundaries where there previously haven't been. And I think if I'm,
And when did a boundary ever get you loved?
well, lack of them gets you a lot of other things too.
No, that's not the question I asked. When did a boundary ever get you loved?
What do you propose in its place then?
You're not answering the question still.
No.
Obviously, boundaries don't attain love by establishing.
Okay. Now, did you notice you said that shit out fucking loud with the 3 men sitting here?
Indeed.
Okay, we're looking for that guy. Hi, you're in some pain. And if you don't stop, you will ignite another dark night of the soul and you disappear again. We're not going to let you do that, okay? Listen to me. Your heart matters. How you feel matters.
Yeah.
Okay? Stop. Stop it. And know this, that your feelings are important. And until you let yourself sit in them and not make their drama into yours, they're not going to pay attention to you.
Well, that's exactly what's happening right now.
Oh, wait. We're talking about what you have a choice in doing,
Right.
right? So right now, do you let your parents sit with how you feel?
I am right now.
How so?
Without getting into too many specifics, there's been a lot of
Be specific.
well,
I did that on purpose because we're trying to love you and you're rejecting it. See, this is what a woman or a man doesn't know how to do. You're in pain, okay? And guess what? This pain and this hurt you're in are accepted here. We're not going to let you change your mind. If your parents keep hurting the shit out of you, go, they're hurting. Period. You don't need to say nothing else after that. You don't have to give us any drama. But guess what, Kevin? We want to be here for your hurt.
well, so the question is, how do you not make their drama or their path? You know, how do you not make that your own, but still remain?
When you make your hurt and your pain more important than their drama. Because right now, you're telling us how you abandon yourself, not how they do, not how they abandon you. Right now, your hurt and pain is very much a priority with us. But you keep talking about their drama. Why?
I found like kind of like I think Omar was saying that sometimes being in people's orbit and just being around them in proximity to them, it's draining. It's very toxic to my own well-being, my own mental health, my own.
You're infinite.
Yeah.
Why are you saying it's draining if you're infinite? Make that make sense. Omar, helping. If you're infinite,
Okay.
how can you be drained?
I can
Basically, okay. Kevin, this is I have been dealing with this kind of thing, feeling drained from people's energy since I can remember. Since I've been on this journey, and just like I said, since I really let go, I don't allow nobody else's energy to drain me at all, because Your issue is not my issue because I'm connected to self. Okay. I can understand what you're going through. I can feel what you're going through, but I'm not going to allow it to bother or hinder me because I don't, me personally, I don't want the negativity. I don't want the drama. I want peace. I want to be connected to myself, and myself is peace. So, family, friends, daughters, grandkids, my dog, I just let it be. I can't allow them to drain me because I'm me. And just like Lee said, I'm infinity. I'm not going to allow it. I'm allowed by you just allowing their energy to mess with you while you in the dark night of the soul. It's just driving you deeper and deeper.
So the bigger question is, I completely understand what you're saying. What I'm trying to figure out is it's one thing to not let their problems be your problems on an energetic level, to not let their drama be yours, to not make it yours, not to own it. But as you said, Lee, inevitably we're connected to these people. We don't have a choice. We come from them. We are of them. Mm-hmm. So the real question is, how do we not let their shit be our shit and still maintain orbit? And do we alter our behavior when the path that they're on is not the path that we're on? And we can obviously see that.
That is the right question. That is the exact right question. And the answer is make your pain more important than their drama.
Right. So what does that look like?
Wait. What does that mean to you first?
To me, lately, that means removing myself physically from the proximity of the problem. Because
what do you tell yourself is on the inside of your pain?
On the inside?
Yep.
I don't know. The only word that came to mind then was peace, because.
Right. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You say that came where? Where did it come from?
I don't understand. What do you mean?
You said the only thing that came up was peace.
Yeah.
That was something that's you. Peace.
No, he's not excluding the negativity. So if you really pay attention, Omar, accepting negativity into your positivity creates, what was the word again there, Kevin?
Peace.
Oh, so if you exclude negativity, you get more negativity because you give the energy to negativity, not to peace, which is how you put negativity and positivity together. So if you really look at what you're saying is, you can't sit in peace when they're doing all of their drama. And I'm going, well, Kevin, it's their drama, not yours. And you take on, wait, if your parents come to you and they go, okay, Kevin, it's your turn. You take on our drama because we can't handle it anymore.
Well,
and you're like,
the bigger question is, it's not necessarily contained within them. It's directed at you. And in this case, myself. Like their drama is not necessarily contained in their own bubble. It's
so how do you turn negativity and smack it with positivity to turn it into peace? That's the question, right?
Well, I mean, we can't move anyone else but ourselves. We can't.
Hold on. Is the question about how you take positivity and negativity and create peace?
Right. But you can only control that within yourself.
Do you notice how you keep trying to find the space to make this about you?
I don't understand the approach you're trying to take, because how I'm under.
Okay, so the approach I'm trying to take is man to man, woman to woman. I'm saying that if you meet negativity with positivity, what do you create? And you said the word
peace.
Okay, so if you come at me the way they come at you, and watch what I do.
So you may say some of the thing, like,
absolutely.
The problem is, it's not what they say, it's what they do. And in my case, it's it's lack of effort, it's lack of interest, it's lack of care, it's lack of importance, it's lack of value. People, not outwardly expressing that you're important to them. It's one-sided relationships, I guess, is the simplest way.
Let me make sure I got this right.
Yeah.
The people you are referring to, just today, you asked them if you were important to them, and they told you what?
No.
Okay, so you said those words out of your mouth today.
Well, I'll give you an example.
Wait. I want you to think carefully before you answer this question, because I'm gonna fuck you up if you don't.
I'm ready for you this time.
The only reason I'm asking is because there's a you on the inside who knows whether or not he did that or didn't do that today.
Okay, so let me ask you. You put yourself on the line to someone that you care about. You open yourself
all the time.
Well, I'm in this instance, you're opening yourself up and you said, here I am, here's where I stand, here's what I need, here's what I want, here's how I feel. How do you feel? And they in words reciprocate those things to you. And then after that conversation ends,
Ow.
Well, let me
Ow.
I'll condense all of this. For the past few years, there's been a rift, I guess you'll say. Someone who has been behaving badly that I'm not related to has caused a very uncomfortable situation whenever we're all around each other, and it's not someone that I can do anything about, we'll say. And because of this, the closeness and the display of care and value from the person I am connected to has waned along with that rift. And so when I have communicated, when I have reached out and expressed my care, where I'm at, expressed my feelings, the things I need, asked, do I matter to you? In words, I get that back, but in actions, I don't. And increasingly so.
Do you know why you're not getting that back?
I don't.
Okay. Do you need to know that?
Yeah.
Do you need to know that? I need to ask you that first.
For a long time, I thought I did, but lately I've cared less about needing to know.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you the feedback.
Okay.
Why didn't you ask how they're doing first?
I have.
Kevin, if you go back and watch this video, that was the last thing you said. Did you hear everything else you said first?
Well,
no, I mean, walk yourself through your own checklist.
I'm condensing years worth of material right now, but
no,
you're right.
No, all you're doing is abandoning and avoiding it. And this is why the conflict is going to occur, because this is the same conflict you have with them. And I'm trying to point out something very important. Here, watch this. Hey, Kevin, when they tell you how they feel, what do they tell you?
That I matter.
No, Kevin, how did they feel about what they're feeling, right? They're going to tell you that because you've said what you need, what you want, what you've gone through your checklist. You don't start with how are you? How you doing? You okay? Right? You don't start with that because that's what you want, but that's not what you start with.
In all honesty, that hasn't been the context of the conversations, but I'm
connection. If I go downstairs right now and go through a checklist,
yeah.
How quickly do you think she'll shut me down?
Probably pretty fast.
Did you notice that you understand what the fuck I'm saying? All I'm trying to get you to do, Kevin, is release that shit. Because guess what, dude? We care about how you feel.
Right.
Guess what? If you start with that feeling first with them, they'll start with that feeling back.
You hope.
No, I don't hope. Now, the problem is, in your mind, your needs and your wants come behind them, right?
Up and until recently, and never has now.
Okay.
And
so Kevin, if we said to you, when you first start out, how do you really focus in and as an empath, pay attention to their feelings so they can connect to yours? What would you tell us? Do you do that?
The majority of my relationship, I've made it all about them. Yes.
Okay. So you abandon yourself and you teach them that and you're mad at them. Get over it. Get over it right now because I want you to change it. Forgive yourself for not knowing. Forgive yourself. see, Kevin, I know that I can look at you and say, Kevin, you were always being the responsible one in your family. You were always there for everybody. When did you allow them to be there for you?
And there wasn't time.
Okay, so you found a way to reject them being there for you. Now you're mad because they've learned how to do that. Is that what you're saying?
In effect, yeah.
We got you, bro. That's why we're here. That's why we do this. Because guess what? There's a girl on the inside of all of this who keeps watching you do that too. Because you will take on everybody else's stuff, but when it comes time for you and you got that heavy load on you, guess what you know how to do? Wonder why nobody's there. But guess what? You show up strong and they're like, oh, Kevin can handle anything. No, he can't. And guess what, Kevin? It's okay to tell him that. Say, you know what? I taught all of y'all how to abandon me and I need some help. Say that. You'll be surprised that everybody goes, what the fuck is this? Right? Because guess what, Kevin? Tell me that there's one person in your family who doesn't see you as strong as shit and can handle anything.
Yeah.
Name one person who can't see that way. And I bet you it's the one who's there with you, connected directly to you.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, Kevin takes on everybody. Kevin's there for everyone. Kevin, I promise you, they have a long list of everything Kevin has done. But when it comes time for Kevin to come up with that list, he's like, this person was, no, they haven't been there for me either. No, they haven't been there for me. You can go through that list and you think they're the issue. So I'm going to ask you, Kevin, when do you allow anybody to be there for you again? And how is that connection? Connection is a two-way street. We're not taught that, man. You had to put aside everything and become man of the house and take care of everybody in that house. Who cried with you? We are. You didn't do anything wrong. And I know it may seem like I'm coming down on you, but I'm connected to you. And I'm fighting for your feelings, not your thoughts. Because every single man on this planet learned the same damn thing. And every woman out there is going, I need my man to love me. And guess what you learned how to do? No, I'm gonna be there for you. And then she's like, but don't you want me? And what were you taught about wanting or needing anything?
We didn't have time for that.
You and time don't get along.
No, we don't.
We love you.
Same to you.
And I know you'll look back at this and you're going to go, wait, who have I allowed to be there for me? Just don't be mad at them. You've taken on a lot of shit and have bit off more than you can chew. And nobody asked you why you were doing that. And I know you did it out of love, but at some point that love turned into abandonment, rejection, and betrayal. And you're more than that.
So in the big picture, do you feel, or I guess, are you telling me that you feel like any relationship is salvageable as long as you are willing to look at it or feel it, be connected to it?
I'm going to tell you that the one thing you should look at when it comes to relationship and or connection, who do you allow to connect back to you, is your allowance, not theirs.
Right.
What have you taught them about being connected to you? That it is something they can do or something that you don't need.
Very true.
Okay, so don't be mad at them if you taught them that you don't need that. And now you're mad because they're not showing up for what you need. Because that's the hardest part of connection. The hardest part of connection is realizing that you have needs, then realizing I don't know how to communicate them. I don't know how to tell anybody I have them. Now we're angry because nobody got it. Yeah. But it wasn't because nobody got it. It's because you put on a huge mask that said you're good. And now you're mad because they love the mask and not you.
Isn't that the damn truth?
So why are you mad? Are you mad at them or you?
The obvious answer is myself for setting up the paradigm in the first place.
Okay. Then we here, me, Clinton, Omar, don't need you mad at you anymore. Okay? We want to be here for your hurt. And guess who else wants to be there for your hurt? Your twin. She doesn't know how to do that because you're teaching your twin the same thing you taught everybody else.
Well, and in effect, we both created the same paradigm for ourselves within our own family.
Well, let me tell you how that actually works in this twin flame connection. She becomes you and you become your parents.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so you figured out the second street.
Oh, yeah.
So literally, it's everything you put them through, your twin now has to put you through because that's what you taught everybody. And now you got to try to love you because you taught your twin how to become you. And this is the worst part about becoming a runner and a chaser is caught and trapped in that space, even in union.
Yeah. The dynamic is there.
So I guess the bigger question then becomes, how do you love anyway?
You just do.
Depends on your definition of love. If your love consists of boundaries, protection, bullshit, then you'll be stuck for a long time and you'll keep activating a dark night of the soul over and over again. It's almost like you're sitting around just suffering going, they don't want to be with me. Oh yeah? Who have you taught anybody? When have you taught anybody to be with you? Would probably be the question you should probably dive into. Because ultimately, they got to give you what you give yourself. Connection is here and now. There is no more time. Time has been the illusion the whole fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
So what are you running from? Isn't your parents, it's you. Are you willing to face the you that taught them that you didn't need anything? How's that for narcissism?
Indeed. It's like a reverse.
I met my narcissist in Sherry and went, I don't like you. She goes, feelings mutual. And I went, whoa, hey, time. It's like I'm fighting myself here. And she's like, well, you're a narcissist. And I looked at her and went, well, you're a narcissist. And she says, well, then we're two narcissists in love with our narcissism. And I went, welcome to being a twin flame. Indeed. Now, it's really interesting because Theo sent me a clip the other day, and it was of this psychologist who thought it would be a good idea to say that this whole journey that everybody's on is about narcissism. And I went, yeah, that's not a really good idea. But, psychology believes this. Psychology believes this because there's nobody who's in psychology that wants to connect to your feelings. They want to keep you trapped in your mind and then find a way for you to cope with your mind. We don't want you to do that. That's why this channel is here. We want you to heal. But you're not going to heal what you don't feel, right?
That's right.
This connection is about your feelings. All connections are. Kevin, teach them how to be there for your feelings. Don't dictate to them what your needs or wants are if you haven't taught them how to be there for it. Because you know what? I've taken on a lot of stuff and I didn't yell for help. Because you needed help, buddy. You needed connection. But you didn't know how to ask for it. Their drama is not yours.
I agree with that. So in the event you find an unwilling participant, then what?
There is no such thing as an unwilling participant.
When you're connected to yourself,
Not, but even we're talking about it externally, not other.
it's not. It's just not a.
So, what is their best shot they throw at you?
What if they don't? Is what I'm saying. You
Oh,
say, "Hey,
then
this."
you go to them. You go to them and go. You know what? When you're hurting and in pain, do you have anybody you can go to? And if they go no, then say not anymore. Will you do the same for me?
Well, the
You
truth is, that person has been me, but not in reverse. And it's felt like when I've tried to make that known and tried to communicate that, tried to ask, tried to teach them, I guess, to be there for me, that it's been met with silence instead.
Right. Because when do you tell them what you need when you're in pain?
Well, I mean, most recently, like I was telling you about, it's been really hard. And trying to,
Are you answering the question?
I am, because the example I gave you earlier was me trying to teach them that I needed them, trying to show them that I needed them.
You taught them how to know when you're in pain.
I mean, the only way we can teach them is to communicate it to them, right?
Are you answering the question?
I don't know what you're looking for in an answer, I suppose.
I'm looking for your pain to rise up in your body as you just jerked just then. If you watch the video, your body's been telling the truth the whole time. So what I'm looking for is that when that pain arises, somebody shows up and goes, hey, you all right? And you can go, no. You're not saying that because that's simple, right? It's like if you fall down or if your arm gets cut off, you don't go, medic, and then sit. No, you're screaming your ass off, right? So when you're in pain, Kevin, did you learn how to hide it?
Yeah.
Why are you mad at them? Because you really wore a good mask that made them not know that you were in pain. I can't stand these people. They don't know when I'm in pain. My mask should tell them. No, it doesn't.
Well, damn it, it's supposed to be psychic.
but then we had this conversation about masses on this thing a while back about
Indeed.
people with their masses.
Man.
Kevin, you got to understand that nobody's a mind reader.
Mm.
Okay?
Oh, we all claim to be. We all claim to be. We all have a degree. We all have a degree.
We're supposed to anyway.
I want to explain to you when I say speak your truth. That means about everything. How you feeling? Why you feeling the way you feeling? Why it's making you feel like you said if you hurting. That's why I said I'm gonna say from the 21st of last year of December to now. That's basically what I've been doing, and it's like results because I'm speaking my truth. I'm letting people know how I feel, whether good or bad,
So
sad or miserable. I'm letting it out. I'm not being the strong one. I understand what you're talking about because I'm the breadwinner. I'm the one that's doing this and that for everybody. When have I ever allowed somebody to be there for me? Never. When have I ever expressed how I needed somebody or how I was feeling in situations? Never. But since I've been doing that,
I think
do that. Believe me, you would see.
well, I think you helped me realize a fallacy is that I've looked at communicating and keeping in contact with people as establishing that there's a need for their presence in my life because I stayed in connection to them. I stayed in contact. I stayed in communication with them. And to me, that was, you mean something to me. You are valuable to me. You matter because I stay in contact with you. I prioritize our time. I make sure that we stay engaged with each other. But while that may be true, just like both of you have said, that doesn't communicate need for support.
Basically what it means, Kevin, is you love them, and cutting them out of your life is cutting your love.
Indeed.
And maybe you should ask yourself a deeper question. Have I shown them how to love me back? And if you haven't, then you're going to have to realize that you're going to have to be really patient, not because of them, but because of you.
Indeed.
There's a belief on the inside of you that tells you that you can't be connected to in return. Isn't about them. You've been strong your whole life. But when did strong ever get you loved?
It absolutely doesn't.
Then you should talk to the you that became strong and ask him, what does he need from you? If you don't do that, don't worry. You'll just keep cutting people out of your life to make sense of why you won't actually sit down with him and tell the truth. Your love matters. I do have to go. Sherry and I are going to pop back on here if you guys want to join back in. But she made dinner, and I promised her I would come down at 7 o'clock for dinner. So we're going to come back probably in about 30 minutes from now. If you guys want to jump back on.
Yeah, I'll come back.
Yes.
And she won't take it easy on you. I'm just being.
Well, so, Crystal has been eager to be part of the conversation too. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Bring her on.
Okay, I'll let her know.
Hey, Clinton.
Yes.
You've been awfully quiet.
Definitely.
Well, actually, Clinton's taking a lot in, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, come back in 30 minutes.
Be back.
Maybe we can look and see what questions there are, because this was a pretty tough discussion, but it was one that was much needed.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. I
And
appreciate it.
amen.
Amen.
Your feelings matter.
Always.
And if you don't feel like anybody's paying attention to how you feel, find me. Because they do. Your feelings matter. We can sit and just feel it, and we'll feel it all the way through. But don't feel like you're being shut out, and don't feel like you got to create boundaries or protection. You can be connected to. Your feelings have always meant for that to be the connection.